What's up guys, my name is Justin Odisho, and in this video I'm going to talk about the 5 traits that you need to be a good video editor. So what is a video editor anyway? It's someone who takes a bunch of videos, music, clips, and source media, puts them all together, cuts them up, and puts them in a sequence to tell a story. So some of these traits you might be natural born good or inclined at, and some of them you might need to practice a little bit at. But let's get into the first item on the list and kick it off with number 1, which is being a good storyteller. So since video is kind of like communication, you have to be able to be good at communicating what you want. So if your video is intended to give across a certain emotion or drive a certain message to the viewer or teach a lesson, the better you are at telling that story visually through the clips, the color grading you use, the choice of music that you pick. The more effective of a communicator you are, the better of a video editor you will be, because you know what you need to do to speak to your audience through the video. Number 2 is being a good sculptor and knowing what to take away. So just like a sculptor starts with a solid block of rock and chisels away at it until they create their statue or piece of art, your video is going to start with a bunch of solid clips of media, music, and video and photo that you're going to need to be the one who decides what stays and what needs to be taken away. So you need to understand what is going to serve your video's purpose, help you communicate the story, and what is not necessary. Video editing is a lot about cutting stuff away rather than adding effects. So keep that in mind next time you're editing a project or thinking about how to be a better editor. A lot of it is, what can I take away that I don't need to my final product? So that brings me into thing number 3, which is being a good visualizer. That means I can close my eyes and think about in my head what I want the final product to look like. Because if you know what you want the final product to look like, then you know what to do with your source media and videos. So you can hear a piece of music and say, oh, I know I'm going to put a fade right there. This would look cool with this type of cut, or this sounds like this type of video. It's a thing that some people have called synesthesia, where you see colors and you represent colors and sounds as numbers and colors. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that, but you need to have a good sense of what sounds look like and what emotions look like. So this one, I don't really know how you can practice it. Kind of like having a good imagination and being able to visualize the end product in your head. So that brings me into thing number 4, which is being technically proficient with the software and tools and up to date with the modern tools. So while the first video editors might have cut film with scissors and tape, nowadays we have all these softwares that can get a little bit complicated if you don't know how to use them. So it's up to you to know all the tools available that you have, because it's one thing if you can visualize the final product in your head, and it's another thing to actually be able to put that down physically onto a disc or a computer and get it to play back to the world. You might have the perfect video in your head, but if you don't know how to use the tools to get there, that's why a lot of people hire video editors, because they don't know the technical tools and they're not proficient with them to get there. So resources like my channel and others, Google is your best friend. I guess film school if you want to go the traditional route and want to be in film industries, make movies and whatnot. This isn't really a discussion about film school versus not film school, but be good at your tools. The better you are at the tools, the better you know these tools, and I have tons of tutorials on them, the better you'll be able to tell your stories, get your visions across, and be able to physically take stuff away like we've said in all the previous points. And that brings me to my last point, is you have to be a good problem solver. There's tons of times where you're going to get an error in Premiere Pro or whatever software you're using. This clip isn't working here, it's just not rendering for some reason. The client or yourself needs it to be less than 3 minutes, but your clip is sitting at 4 minutes and 30 seconds and you just don't know what to take out. You're going to face a lot of problems, and this is kind of the fun part in it as well. I'm not going to call it problem solving, it's almost like putting a puzzle together. How are you going to take all these clips that you got from the day and turn them into the final video? You need to be able to arrange, okay, what if I put this here? What if I put this clip over here? what if I switch the soundtrack? This person's talking a little bit too quiet. What if I added some bird sound effects? You get the idea. A lot of the fun for me is in the problem solving. I guess it's why people do Sudoku puzzles and other board games. But you can do your own puzzles by creating your final video. So all of those points listed, I think those are 5 skills and traits that every good video editor needs. And I'm sure there's a ton more. Let me know which ones you guys can think of in the comments, which ones you guys are good at naturally or you need to practice more. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for all of my new videos. If you want to become more technically proficient in Premiere Pro and things like that, I make tons of tutorials if this is your first time on the channel. So check them out, subscribe. Go follow me on Instagram at Odisho if you want to reach out to me. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.